What if one of the most talked about Christian writers in prophecy has also become one of the most misunderstood? When people hear the name, they often think fear, strict rules, or extreme end-time predictions. But what did she actually teach? Was her message about panic, or was it about preparation? In this video, we're going beyond internet clips and assumptions. We're looking at the heart of her message and why so many people still discuss her writings today. Before we talk about prophecy, we need context. Was a Christian author and one of the founders of the Seventh-day Adventist movement. Over her lifetime, she wrote extensively about spiritual growth, health, education, faith, and Bible prophecy. One of her most influential books is The Great Controversy, and at the center of her writings was one major theme: the conflict between truth and deception, Christ and compromise, spiritual readiness versus spiritual distraction. But here's what's important. Her writings were never meant to replace the Bible. She consistently pointed people back to Scripture. And whether you agree with every interpretation or not, her influence on modern prophetic discussions is undeniable. One of Ellen White's core teachings is called The Great Controversy. This is the idea that human history is part of a larger spiritual conflict between good and evil, not just externally, but internally. According to her writings, deception would increase in the last days. Faith would become more performative, and many people would appear religious while drifting spiritually. Sound familiar? Today, we live in a world where information is everywhere. Truth feels harder to define, and spirituality is often reduced to trends or aesthetics. Her warning was not simply, watch the world. It was, watch your spiritual condition. Now let's talk about the end times specifically. In books like The Great Controversy and Last Day Events, Ellen White described a moral decline, spiritual confusion, increasing pressure on believers, and a world becoming spiritually divided. One of the most debated topics from her writings is the idea of a future Sunday law. This refers to a time when worship becomes socially or politically pressured rather than freely chosen. Now, whether people fully understand or agree with this interpretation is another conversation. But the deeper point she emphasized was this: external events reveal internal loyalty. In other words, the last days are not only about what happens around us, but what happens within us. Here's something many people overlook. Ellen White repeatedly warned against spiritual complacency, performative religion, and being spiritually asleep. She wrote more about prayer, humility, character, surrender than sensational predictions. And honestly, that part matters more, because it's possible to know prophecy but still not know God deeply. It's possible to discuss signs while ignoring transformation, and I think that's one of the most relevant warnings for today. Look around the world right now. People are exhausted, anxious, searching for meaning. Social media rewards outrage. Truth feels fragmented. Attention spans are shrinking, and spiritually, many people feel disconnected, even while surrounded by content. This is why conversations about prophecy keep resurfacing, not because people only want predictions, but because people are searching for stability. And that's where Ellen White's message becomes interesting, because beneath all the prophecy discussions was a simple call: wake up spiritually, stay rooted in truth, keep your faith genuine. So how do we respond to all of this in a healthy way? 1. Stay grounded in scripture, not clips, not fear content, the Bible itself. 2. Don't become obsessed with signs. Curiosity without transformation becomes unhealthy. 3. Strengthen your spiritual life quietly. Prayer, reflection, honest faith. 4. Focus on character more than speculation, because according to Scripture and Ellen White, character matters deeply. 5. Live with readiness, not panic. Fear clouds judgment. Faith brings clarity. So what did Ellen G. White actually say about the end times? At its core, her message was this: the world may grow darker, but believers must grow deeper, not louder, not more fearful, deeper, because the greatest preparation for the future is a genuine relationship with God in the present. If this video gave you a different perspective, comment preparation over panic. And in episode 3, we'll break down one of the most important prophetic chapters in the Bible, Matthew 24, explained simply. Subscribe so you don't miss it.